Every brother was caught in the crossfire.
Captain Marvel is the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and tells the story of Carol Danvers, an Air Force pilot who is now a Kree warrior, and right after a battle between the Skrulls and the Kree, in which this ongoing war has been raging on, she ends up back on Earth not knowing who she is, and her whole life she's trying to figure out where she came from. She always had these dreams and visions of her past. She's trying to piece together the pieces to figure out who she is. Now, going to this film, I'm scared. The controversy around it and all the social justice warrior stuff, I tried to push all of that aside, watch the movie, judge it on its own merits, and if it's good or not. I'm happy to say that this is a really good movie, though I don't think that it is one of the better Marvel Cinematic Universe films. And I won't even call it a great one. It is a really enjoyable, really fun movie with a really good message and some fun characters, some fun action sequences. But there's really nothing absolutely special. I left out the movie really enjoying it. I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. But thinking about it on the car ride home, there were a lot of things that I noticed are problems, and I'm not sure how I'm supposed to talk about them without angering some of you guys that are probably hoping this movie to be good or bad. So this is just my honest thoughts. I'm not being paid by anyone or Disney's forcing me to watch this movie. This is just an honest opinion. So let's start off with the characters. Carol Danvers, played by Brie Larson. For the most part, I'd say 70 to 75% of the time, most of the time, she's really good. I loved her personality. I loved what she did with the character, and when her Academy Award winning acting shows up, it shows up. And I really liked her, but somewhere around the movie, the direction and the lines she's given, it just doesn't flow right. And that's probably my biggest issue with this movie. Is there's some cringeworthy dialogue that doesn't always work. Most of the time, the movie has pretty good humor. But there are some things that in the movie that will anger a lot of fans, and it sort of angered me included. And there's something that would, at the end, that's going to anger a whole lot of people, but I'll just let that argument rage on because there's nothing I can do about it. The action, for the most part, is really good. Not like one of the best action scenes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but they were entertaining, well directed. Well, the space battles and grander battle scenes were really awesome to watch. But there were two action set pieces down in the earth near the beginning of the movie, somewhere in the second act, that just doesn't feel right to me. And that is mostly the director's fault, in my opinion. And that's probably my biggest issue with this film. These directors come from an indie background, and for the most part, Marvel does have a good track record of getting indie director to director films. For example, Taika Waititi and John Watts and the Russo brothers. But these guys, I feel like that they need to change up the directors in the second film if they do decide to go on with a sequel. I feel like that they did not give much of a personality to this film as I hoped they would. I mean, it is really fun. The soundtrack is really cool. I love the 90s nostalgia. I love the pacing. It flowed nicely. There's also a really cool twist in the film where at that point the film just became so much fun to watch again. But somewhere around that second act, these directors just had a hard time finding their footing. And that's mostly with the tone, the directing that they give. It just did not flow right. Felt like a Marvel Phase 1 film at times. But overall, I still thought this was really entertaining. Brie Larson, for what she was given, that is good. She was really good, and that's most of the time. Samuel L. Jackson was fantastic. I love the chemistry between Brie Larson and Nick Fury. It was really good banter, and the relationship between Carol Danvers and her friend from the military was at times heart-wrenching. And what they did with the Kree and Skrulls here, you people are going to either love or hate. I can see two sides of the arguments here, but it worked for me, and I thought they did a really good job of twisting things, making you feel like that you do know what you're going to get, but it's not really what it seems. Overall, Captain Marvel was a really good Marvel film. Not one of the best, but certainly not one of the worst. It falls right around the good area, and I would recommend it. Just keep your expectations low. You're going to feel empowered if you love this film. I know a lot of girls in my theater, including my sister, who love the film. They're going to floor for this movie. But I can see some people not really enjoying it as much. So it's really interesting to see what the discussion on this film would end up being at the end of the day. And I'm really curious to see what you guys thought of the movie when you do see it. I'm going to give Captain Marvel a B+. Not that bad. I would recommend it. It's not one of the best Marvel films, as I said. Just have your own expectations, and don't listen to me. Don't listen to any other reviews. Just go see the movie yourself. Don't listen to anyone else. Make up your own opinions. If you don't want to see it, don't go see it. And if you do want to see it, check it out. No one's forcing you to do anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.
So heaven, if you sent us down, so we can build a playground for the sinners to play a